Hello, Yvette. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
I'm good. How's Houston?
Houston is cold today. But by 5 o'clock, by 3 o'clock this afternoon, I'll probably be wearing flip-flops and a tank top.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I see that we have the other Yvette behind you, IvetteMayo.com. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I've known you for many years and I appreciate your friendship. You're a trailblazer. You're a woman of power, which is another conversation we'll have with your book and everything else. But if I know you and I could describe you, but if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would it be?
Well, the first word I like to use is I'm very curious. I'm always looking for a new way. Again, that helps me be a great out-of-the-box thinker. So curiosity is something that I hone in on. Also fearless, because once you discover those new gateways, you need to be able to take a leap forward and go through them. And I think the other thing that I've become more analytical, making sure that the next move is the right move for the right reasons. Because as an entrepreneur, we have to make sure that we're not wasting time and wasting resources, and most importantly, not wasting money.
When we talk about the things that describe us and everything like that, passion comes to mind.
Oh,
So
yes.
I know that you're very committed to your community, to your business, to women, to moving women forward. But what's your passion right now? What would you describe that as?
Well, right now, I launched my own nonprofit. It's called the Power on Hills Fund, and it's helping women like you and I go back to school, get certifications, get trainings. They're going to help us move our businesses and our community forward. I see the need in the community, but I think the passion right now, the outrage of pay gap inequity that Latinas face in the marketplace, women in general, but Latinas, we're at the bottom of the pay scale. And my goal to have social impact is to really minimize or remove that from our language.
Wow, that's impactful. I wish you well, and I know that you're going to succeed in anything you do. It seems like you have the Midas touch, and that's incredible from the women that I've heard that you've helped, you've mentored, you've moved forward. I've been to your conferences, and they're spectacular. You're a woman of detail, and you make everyone feel that they're at home. As big as these conferences are in Houston and other places around the country, they always feel like you're at home and that you're in a safe place. I think you create an environment of success, of power, but also a feeling that you belong to a tribe. And that's important.
And we do. And I think I want to demystify all those cultural mindsets that we've been adapting to our lives, that women can't work together, Latinas cannot work together, that trust is not something that you can give to people outside of your DNA pool. There's just so many things that we need to remove out of our thinking and really move forward into a place of where we can progress and work better together. So thank you for that, because that means a lot. There's intention that goes into planning an event, and making people feel safe in a place of trust, but feeling at home. That's where change takes place. So thank you for making sure that you're reaffirming to me that we accomplish that.
Yes, you're a great person. You're very warm, and your friendship comes through no matter what you do. This all comes from where we come from. So it's not something that happens overnight. It is an evolving of the personality, the person. So if you were to say, what was the best thing that happened to you when you grew up, or where you grew up, the best thing that ever happened?
Well, for some people out there who may be listening, I'm a military brat. My father was in the U.S. Navy. He served, he's a veteran, and we left Puerto Rico when I was 6 years old. And my father, he had a unique duty within the Navy, and he was on submarines, and then he was a teacher. So we went from being on a sub to moving to a school where he was teaching. So just to give you an idea, from kindergarten to 7th grade, my brother and I went to 13 schools.
Wow.
And so as children, we moved a lot and we dealt with change a lot. And I think what that did for me is that back now we call it assimilation and acculturating to a community. Back then, as young kids, we were just surviving. We were getting through, the next term, the next report card, whatever the case was, but we were also adapting to change. So for me, that adaptivity allowed me it's just part of my fabric. So when I joined corporate America, and since then, one of the things that I do is I deal with change easily, because it's something that's built into me. It's kind of life. It's expected. So I think I deal with change better because of that.
Wow. You know, we're all a product of our backgrounds, but one of the things that I always like to ask people when you think about your life and you've had a dynamic life and a very you know, even though there's a lot of changes, it makes you who you are today.
It
What
is.
is your proudest moment? Can you reflect on that a little bit?
You know, I think we have all these things that, awards that we've won, and I've been invited to the White House. I've been featured in, New York bestseller books and all these things. But I think when it comes down to it, I think my greatest pride and joy is being mother to Leah and Danielle, because at the end of the day, that's my legacy. That's the generational impact that I'm not only having on my family, but on the generations to come. And then now my oldest daughter, Leah, is a mother, and I get to see her mother her child like I mothered her, and seeing how well, just seeing how Lola is evolving as a 3-year-old. So I think all those accolades and titles and awards and all those things are wonderful, but I think my proudest moment is still my 2 girls.
You know, Lola is spectacular. I see how the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Your girls, your women of your family are beautiful. Your Lola is spectacular. She has a style, and I wonder where she gets that style from, Miss.
Well,
But she must
let
get it
me tell you,
from her,
her
from the woman that she stands on her shoulders. But you have a lot of style and you have a lot of grace. You know, what's the best advice that you've ever received?
I think that you touched on it. It says that I make people feel comfortable. I think one of the challenges when you walk into an empty space and seeing a friendly face or someone who cares. And I was always told that I've always been told that I care, and that means a lot. And that's what draws people to me. They see me with other people. They want to know who I am because the way I treat others, or how I make them feel. And I think that reminds me of Maya Angelou. People may forget what you said, but they always remember how you feel. And I think that's something that that's important to me. And
Exactly.
mhm.
And you know, you come across as a person that really cares about the environment. You know, if anyone has the chance to go to one of your conferences, we'll talk about that in a moment. But it's amazing from the moment you walk in, there's a friendly face from the people at the registration. But even before you walk in, the signs are very friendly. So it makes you
Yeah.
feel that you know where you're going. You're part of a tribe, and there's nothing more inviting than someone feels that they're invited, not only having a ticket, but really you have a seat at the table and that table is yours. So thank you for that. And, you know, as we come to a close to this, it's a very short interview. We need to have an interview about grandmas and those women that come before us. But if you were to give some nuggets of information to men about women, what would that be?
Well, the first thing I would say to them is listen. Don't rush us. We're trying to tell you something. And so be patient is the second thing. Because we want to tell you everything, because everything is important. So we may not sound like you, we may not talk like you, but I think in the midst of all of the conversations and the things that we're sharing, we're giving you some valuable information. And we also bring emotion to it. So learn to feel those emotions that we're sharing with you. So listen, be patient, and understand the emotion. We may not get to the same destination the same way, but we get there. And I think that by listening, being patient, and understand the emotion behind it, I think they would be better for it.
You know, you're spot on that. I like the patience part. You know, I have 2 men in my house, and I had to learn that. You know, myself about them understanding patience and teaching them slowly. So
Yeah.
we stand on the shoulders of many women or people in our lives, and people that we identify as that made us the strong person we are internally. Who's the person that you attribute your strength to?
Oh my God, it goes back to my upbringing. My grandmother. My grandmother had a fifth grade education. She was a very simple woman in terms of her environment, but she was the wisest woman. And I remember as a little girl, she used to always say to me, "Si tú quieres, tú puedes. If you want it, you can do it." She gave me that limitless thinking, even at an early age. I didn't know that then, but I know that now. And she was always entertaining my curiosity. She's always asking me questions, and she always challenged me. Even as a little girl, you were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then she would ask you, but then she'd go, why? Why is that important? Just to kind of help you think more about not just the answer, but why the answer was important. And so she was also one of those people who always cared enough to ask what was going on in your life, what was important to you, no matter how long those long distance phone calls we used to have, like once a month, because remember, Ma Bell used to charge a lot of money for phone calls. We would have a monthly phone call with her, and she would always have a school, what was going, who's your new friend, all those things. Do you like your new room? She was always concerned about me as an individual, not talking to me in general. So I love the fact that she honed in on the person. And I think I've utilized a lot of that in what I do now today is, mirroring her, that if you care, people will care back.
It's important to know that I just want to share with you, every woman, not every woman, but yeah, most of them, we all have a story about our grandmothers, our abuelitas, our nanas, whatever we may call them. We call them
Mine was
moms.
Popo. We called her Popo.
Popo?
Popo, P-O-P-O.
I love it. I love it. But we need to have a conversation about this, and we're going to be putting together a roundtable discussion about abuelitas and grandmas and popos, and the women that came before us. We'll celebrate that as well. So in closing, we stand on the shoulders of women, but what parting words would you give to women of tomorrow?
What I want to tell women of tomorrow, of today, is that you have power, and you've been deferring it for so long. Stop giving away your power. Each and every day, you don't realize it, but you give away a little bit to the little things, but you're also giving away your power to the big things. I want you to reclaim your power. You have strength, you have ideas, you have emotions, you have dreams, and it's time to plug in. Your power is really what's going to help you get to that next level. So whether you're a corporate executive right now listening, a student, an entrepreneur, is plug into your strengths, your ideas, and your goals, not anybody else's, yours. And if you don't know them, it's time to do a quick assessment, because your power is what's going to propel you forward.
You're an amazing woman. I thank you for taking time out of that tremendously busy schedule that I know you have. You're either up in a plane, driving, going somewhere. So I really appreciate your time. You give me your friendship, your words of wisdom. This is going to be seen by many women. We're going to be posting it on our website, Cloud Chats, Leadership in the Clouds. But tell me a little bit about the website that's behind you and what you do for your business.
Well, IvetteMayo.com is my branded website about me. My company is called Yo Soy I Am LLC. We are a training and consulting firm. We help organizations and individuals with performance development. We want to make people profitable, whether you're an individual or a corporation. So we do everything from training programs to we do speaking, we do coaching, we do a host of things. And also there you can find out what my programs are. I'm a speaker as well. I speak at conferences and events all over the country. And I'm also an author. So you'll get to find information about my book. Excuse me.
Which I have one here, but I know you have a copy. Yes, there we go.
It's a 30, there we go.
That's right.
A 30-day guide to your power. Plugging into your power is so important. My hashtag is Power On for a reason.
And Power on Heels.
And Power on Heels Network is our Facebook page where we engage with women each day. And my nonprofit is called the Power on Heels Fund, where we're creating programming and scholarships to help women deal with pay gap inequity and the disparities that they face each and every day in the marketplace. So power is a big word for me, and it's you'll see it if you go on my website, you go connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, any of our social media, you will always see that word power. I lead with it, I stay with it, and it's who we are. It's what we need to become, powerful each and every day.
Goodness gracious, I'm invigorated, inspired, and want to go and use my power. So.
Yes. Right. Right.
I just have to stay off the heels for another month because of my ankle. But guess what? They're waiting for me in all colors and shapes and sizes. So listen, Ivette, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your words of wisdom, your power. I know that people that come to this conversation here we're having will look you up at www IvetteMayo.com,
Yeah,
correct?
and that's Ivette with an I,
Yeah.
Ivette.
If you move a little bit to the left, I want them to see the banner that's behind you. There you go. You see, she looks just like her banner. I love it. I love it. And it's I am. You know, it's as if your name was made for the business.
It
I
is.
am.
My
I
company
am.
is called Yo Soy I Am. My initials are I am. And you
You're
know
in
what?
your place.
What are the two most powerful words you can say each and every day? I
I
am.
am.
And
I am.
everything behind that just propels you forward. Never underestimate the words I am.
Wow, powerful woman that we're speaking to today. Thank you, Ivette, for joining me on this conversation. The conversations we're having with many women across the country. I'm so happy that I know you, and I'll see you in the clouds.
I'll see you in the class.
Thank you.